Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. It is truly a pleasure to be here at Richland Northeast High School and to have the opportunity to spend time with members of our wonderful community. Events like this are important because they give us the opportunity to do something that matters deeply in public education, and that is to listen and share and learn from one another. Today is not just about hearing from the district, it is about hearing from you. Our goal is to talk openly about the state of Richland School District 2. We'll discuss where we are headed, and how we can continue working together to ensure that each student in our district has the opportunity to succeed. Because the truth is, public education works best when it's built on strong partnerships with the entire community. Our parents and families and business leaders, faith leaders and neighbors all play a key role in the success of our schools. And when those partnerships are strong, our students benefit in ways that reach far beyond the classroom. We are all here for the same reason, and that is because we care about our district. We are purpose-driven, future-ready, and leading the future of learning. Before we go any further this evening, we would like to recognize our Richland School District 2 Board of Trustees. If you will please stand up to be recognized. Let's give them a round of applause. We'll ask any of our other elected officials here this evening to please stand and be recognized. Richland County Treasurer, Kendra Dove. Are there any Richland School District employees in the house tonight? Will you please stand or whoop whoop to be recognized? Wonderful. If you are a parent of a past, present, or future Richland School District 2 student, please stand and be recognized. Thank you, Dr. Thomas, for all of your excitement and for hosting us. And last but definitely not least, do we have any students in the audience this evening? No students, no kiddos. We left them at home. All right, that's all right. Y'all will take the message back. Let's give them a round of applause in their absence. And as we just missed the opportunity to recognize you, Senator Overture Walker, we'll let you wave your hand to the audience this evening. So we do have a video we want to show you all, and then we'll get into the message behind what it means to be here today. So let's all take a look at the screen for just a second.
In every community, there is a place where their future begins. In Richland School District 2, that future is shaped every day. More than 28,000 students, more than 4,000 dedicated professionals, one shared responsibility, high expectations, real challenges, an unwavering commitment to excellence. Every decision matters. Every moment counts. This is more than a school district. It is a promise to the students, to the families, and to our community. Richland School District 2. The story is still being written.
And of course, you are a part of that story. If you have a question, you will see a QR code that's going to pop up on the screen right there. Just pull out your phone, scan the code, and submit your question. We'll be answering several of your questions a little later in the program. And if we don't get to your question today, don't worry about it. We are collecting all of these questions and following up with the responses. As a matter of fact, some of those questions that have been submitted have already been answered. Again, the next hour is going to be about you and what you need to know. Believe it or not, the school year begins 2 weeks from tomorrow. Please join me in bringing to the stage the only person more excited about your kids coming to school than you is our superintendent, Dr. Kim Moore. Let's give her a huge round of applause.
Thank you, Darcy. Yes, I am super excited. Everybody in the district knows that I am very excited about the first day of school and kids coming back to school. Now, the people in this room are parents. That's why you are all excited. I don't see any students because the few I have talked to over the summer, they're not very excited. But that's okay. We're excited, and we are going to make sure that that first day of school is magical, and that every day after it is magical. So yes, Darcy, you are right. Darcy tells me all the time that I am easily distracted by students, by kids, by children, and it's true. They will give me a plan that I'm to follow. We go into the school. I normally get about the first 5 minutes, right, Mr. Dennis, on plan, and after that, I see a student, and the plan goes out the window, and we are then just following me on whatever direction the student is going. So I'm excited about school starting. And over this past year, I just want to take a few minutes to share with you the incredible success that we have had in Richland School District 2. You see, our district continues to grow as a place where students are challenged academically, supported socially, and prepared for life beyond high school. Because that is our purpose in Richland School District 2. Our district continues to be a place that encourages students to reach their full potential. That is our purpose. That's why we say we are purpose-driven, so that our students will be future ready. We are doing that by leading, learning for the future. So one of the most encouraging signs of progress has been our academic growth of our students. And we're blessed tonight to have our Senior Chief of Academics with us, Ms. Jennifer Morrison. Raise your hand, Ms. Morrison. She is the person responsible for leading that work for us across our district. This year, we have been celebrating record growth in literacy and math scores across the district. Now, why is that important? Because this growth represents thousands of hours of dedication from our teachers, our instructional coaches, administrators, as well as our district office staff, who are here to provide the support that our students need to be successful. On our recent state report card, and I know all of you out there look at the report card, which is an indication of the progress that we have made, you will see that we have made significant improvements across many of our schools. 5 of our schools moved off of the state's underperforming list. That deserves a round of applause. Because for those schools and those principals, teachers, and staff members, that is hard work. And anytime that we can celebrate them for the work that they do, we need to do that. What's most important is that these milestones are continuing to get better and better and better. Even more encouraging is that 18 of our schools improved their overall report card ratings. Yes, that deserves a round of applause. And today, 91%. Now, all of you remember from when you were in school, that's an A, right? Okay, 91% of our schools are rated excellent, good, or average. And average means not average. When you look at the definition on the state website, average means that we are meeting the needs of the students in that school. That is, in the old days, maybe satisfactory would be a term you might be recognizing. But keep that in mind that 91% of our schools are rated excellent, good, or average, which represents a 22% increase from last year. Now, if you were running a business and you had a 22% profit increase, you'd be jumping up and down. Yes, and so we are jumping up and down because this is progress that we are extremely proud of. Let's talk about why our success has happened. Because success starts with being in the classroom at the same time every day. So our friends at Bethel Hanbury have produced a video, and it is truly so cute. I know you're just going to love it, that speaks to why this is so important. I want you to take a look at this video. Wow, did you love that? Yes, every day matters. So while we celebrate the progress that we made, we also know that we're not finished. Our focus remains on continuous improvement and making sure that each student has access to a high-quality education. Now, I want to share with you another point of pride, because I just love bragging about what we do in our district. We have amazing team members in our district. Our principals, our APs, our teachers, our instructional assistants, our staff members, our student transportation specialists, our district staff. They are doing amazing things every single day, and that shows up in one of the statistics that everybody looks at, and that is the graduation rate, which continues to remain strong and one of the highest in South Carolina at more than 86%. 86%. You are getting this must be the gifted group. All of you are gifted students, I can tell. Why is this so important? Because each one of our graduates represents a story of perseverance, support, and opportunity. In Richland, too, we're not just focused on students graduating. We are focused on what comes after graduation. And so in our district, our goal is to ensure that every graduate leaves our school prepared for one of the 4 pathways. And we call those 4 pathways the 4 E's. Enrollment in college is one pathway, enlistment in the military, and I broaden that from just not being military, but also including civil servants. We all like the benefits that we receive from our civil servants. We need to make sure we respect and honor them, and that we raise up more of them so that when the current ones retire, there'll be new ones to take their place. The third is employment in the workforce, and the fourth is entrepreneurship. We have several students who have already started their own businesses while they are currently in high school. So student success is critical, but student success not just in the classroom every single day, but student success beyond high school. One of the other things that sets us apart in Richland, too, is our commitment to innovation and choice in education. In fact, you may not know this, but our district has been a leader in school choice for more than 30 years. We did choice before choice was a popular word. Why? Because we wanted to make sure that we give our students the opportunity to attend schools that meet their particular needs for their future careers. So today, we have 36 nationally certified magnet programs, and we have 28 certified demonstration programs. Now, I can tell you, as the principal of a STEM school, or had a STEM magnet program in my school, to earn that level of distinction requires a lot of hard work, because teams from across the nation come in to certify the school. So it's not just something that happens because we fill out a form and send it in. There is a rigorous process to identify these locations, because people will come and visit our schools from across the nation to see what we do every single day in every classroom, in every school, for each one of our students. These programs allow our students to explore their interests in areas like STEM, which is one of my favorites, the arts, another one of my favorites, language immersion, another one of my favorites, although I'm not very good at it, leadership, and global studies. They also help our families to ensure that they are a part of the process, but also helps us integrate our students back into our communities, and that they have access to unique learning opportunities, which makes our students prepared for the world that they're going to work in and that they're going to live in. Because our society is a diverse world. Today is flat. Technology has created an opportunity for our students to work across the global scene. So you can be on a call with students in Saudi Arabia, China, and Europe. That prepares our students for the future. Our career and technical education programs provide students with hands-on training in high-demand fields such as cybersecurity, culinary arts, health sciences, engineering, and fire science. I had a conversation recently with our fire chief for Columbia, and he was telling me how pleased he was with our students that he hires into his fire department. That is real-world experience that our students take with them, which goes back to those 4 E's. Students in these programs are ready to use their skills while earning industry certifications to prepare them for immediate employment or further education. So, I want you to take a look at what students at Westwood High School are doing to prepare for their future as first responders. I don't know if you've recognized this because you may not have needed to call on an EMS or fire department. Hopefully you never do. But there is a shortage of EMS. And as a result of that, you call and people are waiting 30, 40, 50 minutes before someone can get there. Well, we're producing the next generation of those first responders for our community. Another area I'm very proud of, and I see one of my fellow members here, is our support for military families. So if we have anyone that's currently serving on active duty, would you please stand up? I see you back there in your uniform looking sharp. Thank you. Don't sit down yet. Do I have any retired military personnel in the audience? Please stand up. Thank you. Don't sit down. Do I have any military spouses? Please stand up. Thank you for your service. Military spouses are worth their weight in gold because they keep the home front safe so that military personnel like myself and my husband that's actually here with me today can go off and do our job. But don't sit down yet. Military children. Come on, Miss Porter. Stand up. I know Miss Porter's a military child. And thank you to our military children, because our military children don't ask to serve. They're born into service. They have to move when the family moves. That means they have to make new friends and adjust to new environments. And that is challenging. Now you may sit down. Thank you for what you do. We appreciate you. You know, that's one of the unique characteristics of our district, is our strong connection to our military community. We are very proud of the fact that we serve the highest percentage of military-connected families in South Carolina. And we deeply, deeply honor the service of our service members, their family members, but also their children. Because it's hard for military children. When your parents deploy, it puts stress on the entire family, and those children bring that to school with them. But one of the ways we make sure that we honor our military families is we have excellent JROTC programs. Now, you may say, well, is that training people up to serve in the military? No. What it is doing is training them up to be good citizens in our nation and to understand what leadership looks like. But I am so proud as a military person myself of what our ROTC programs do. Let me just tell you some of it. The Navy, which hurts my heart to say, since I'm Army, but I'm gonna recognize them because they do a phenomenal job here at Richland Northeast High School. The Navy JROTC program right here at R&E recently earned the designation of Distinguished Unit with Academic Honors for the 4th consecutive year. Yes. And Master Gunn is not here tonight. He's a Marine. He always got to give me the Semper Fi, and I just smile at him because he does an amazing job with our JROTC program here at Richland Northeast. Why is this so important? Because this is the highest honor that a JROTC program can receive, and it makes them the top program in the state of South Carolina. right here in the land of the Cavaliers, Richland Northeast High School, #1 in the state. But we have 4 other programs, and let me tell you what they also do. Because all 5 of our high school JROTC programs have a 100% graduation rate for their cadets. 100%. Now, I don't know about you, but to me that speaks volumes about leadership, discipline, and development of our future generation. So, that's extremely important to us in our district. I want to talk about next our community partnerships, because we cannot do any of the work that we do without our community partners. They are critical, as you heard in the film that we showed. We work with our community. Our families and our community partners, they show up every day for our students. They do incredible work to help our students be successful. We have volunteers that mentor students, local businesses that support school initiatives, community organizations supporting enrichment programs, and parents working side by side with educators to help our students succeed. These partnerships are vital. I'm very blessed as the superintendent. I have 2 community groups. I have one with our faith-based leaders, and I have a business community advisory group. We meet on a quarterly basis, and they give me feedback on what they are looking for, because we are your workforce generators. Let me say that again for all of our business leaders here. We are your workforce generators. So you tell us what you need, and then we can work to make sure we equip our students for that E around employment, as well as entrepreneurship. So public education is strongest when the community and schools work together with a shared purpose. And here in the R&E community, we see that spirit of partnership every single day. So I am going to now close my comments with just reminding you of what we say in Richland 2 every day. We are purpose-driven, so our students will be future ready, because we are leading the future of learning. Thank you, and I'm going to turn it back over to Darcy, and then we're going to make our way up on the stage to answer your questions.
Yes.
All right, so Dr. Moore, we do have one question from an audience member. Dr. Nicola Smiling is here this evening, and she would like to know, as education continues to evolve, what innovations or initiatives are you most excited about for Richland 2, and how can staff help bring those ideas to life?
Wow.
Are you mic'd?
Is my mic on? You can hear me?
Okay, perfect.
Okay, because they do have me mic'd.
Okay.
That's a great question. So what innovations am I focused on?
And initiatives.
And initiatives. Okay, so let me start with initiatives first. So the vision that I have cast in relationship with our my battle buddies, and that's the board members that are sitting out there. That's what I call them, as my battle buddies, because they're in this work with me. Together we do this work. Is that we have cast a vision that we call Vision 2028. So in 2028, our goal is to reach, by 2028, what we call 90 and 90, and that is a 90% graduation rate and 90% of our students college and career ready, as certified by the state. And then we also, as a part of that 90 by 90, we want to make sure we're meeting the needs of each one of our students, to include our special education students, equipping them with the skills that they need to be successful. And so that's one of our major initiatives. Of course, we want to make sure we are financially stable. That is one of our major responsibilities as a superintendent, as a board. We have to make sure we have a budget, and that it's a balanced budget every year, and that we are being good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. So we actually do forecasting for our budgets. We don't just do a yearly budget, but our finance office, we look at a 3, 5, 10-year plan. We want to know the impact of the decisions that we make today and how those decisions will be impacting us 10 years down the road. And that takes a lot of time and effort around the work that we do. My other initiative is helping to set our district up internally for success by integrating new technology in our way of work every single day so that people are able to spend their time doing the work with the skills that they have and not being bogged down with manual processes. So those are 3 of the initiatives that we're working on. I'm quite sure I've forgotten at least one more major one, and I'm confident Jim Morrison is going to remind me of that when I get off the stage. But those are the 3 I can think of right now with these bright lights on me. Now, innovations. Well, we all know the world that we currently live in is driven by AI right now. So the question becomes, how do we integrate AI not just into the classroom for students, but for our staff also? So we are looking at ways to incorporate AI to increase productivity for staff and to help our staff be more effective. At the same time, working with our state superintendent, we are looking at screen time for students, but also looking at how do we help our students be good citizens when they leave us. Remember, we are future driven and we are leading the future of learning. And the reality is, whether we like it or not, AI is here to stay. So how do we teach our students to use it ethically and responsibly? How do we teach them to look at AI and understand what they are seeing, if it's accurate or if it's not? And the way I explain this to our faculty and staff is I go back to something that I did as a child. Now, you're all younger than me in the audience, I can tell by looking at you. They must be using the rose filter on those lights and not the ones on me. So, I don't know if you've heard of this thing. It was called the World Book of Encyclopedia. When my mother bought a set of the World Book Encyclopedias, it changed my world as a student. Because all of my friends in the neighborhood would come to my house and they would want to use the World Book of Encyclopedia. And here's what we did. We copied every word out of the World Book to answer the question that the teacher had given us for homework. We had not learned how to use it as a resource, not as something to just copy. And so that's what we want to do with our students. We want to teach them how to be responsible digital citizens. How do you use these tools to be more effective, not to cheat or to claim somebody else's work? None of those things. We want them to learn how to use it responsibly. So I hope I answered Nicola's question. Is there any more parts to that?
That was it.
Oh,
Nicola?
she asked how staff could help.
Yes. Did you want to stand up and elaborate, or is she doing a good job on answering the question?
You did a great job, Officer. Thank you so much, ma'am.
You're welcome, Nicola. And how can staff help?
Yes, ma'am.
It's keeping an open mind. I know when we have to learn something new, it can be scary. Trust me, I am not the best with AI. I use it to do a few things at the office, but what it does for me, I do see benefit in. I actually learn more about AI from my husband because he uses it and he teaches me. It's a tool, and if we look at it from that perspective and leverage it as a tool, it will help us reach the goals that we have set for the success of our students.
This parent would like to know, will Richland 2 please consider moving the first day of school from the first Wednesday of August to the second Wednesday beginning in 2027?
Well, that is a loaded question.
Especially since the calendar has already been approved by the board.
The calendar has already been approved by the board. But let me just explain the calendar process, because I realize that most people don't understand the calendar process. So first and foremost, the calendar is not set by Richland School District 2. Yes, the board will vote on calendars and select a calendar, but the calendar is actually created by a team of people from different stakeholder groups. So there are students on the committee, parents are on the committee, Our classified staff is on the committee, and teachers are on the committee. Notice who is not on the committee? Me. I don't have any say into the calendar until I get to vote like all of the district employees get to do. So that group will come together. They are given parameters that they need to consider when they're developing the calendar. For example, we have to have 180 days of school. They have to include makeup days for days that maybe school is closed due to weather conditions. They also are told that we want to graduate before Memorial Day. So that last week and then Memorial Day, it should be the last day of school for students. We also want to make sure, and this really impacts our high schools, being a former high school principal, that we finish first semester and semester exams are taken in the first semester before winter break. And the high school people are nodding. The worst thing that can happen is we have to bring kids back, and then in January they're taking semester exams after 2 weeks out of school. So those are just 4 examples of the priorities that they're given to consider. And there's professional learning days that we are required to have in the calendar. Spring break is in the calendar. And we have a tradition in South Carolina. Our spring breaks align around the Easter holiday. And so all of these things are then given to the groups, and each group will go off and develop a calendar. They will then bring their calendar back to that committee, and the committee members will ask them questions. Like the student calendar may be starting, 1st of September, and it's like, well, we can't get this done, that done. They ask questions, and then they refine their calendars. They'll go back and take that feedback and refine their calendars. Once the calendars have been finalized by the committee, the calendars are then sent out to the entire school district for everybody to vote on, to include our board. We all get 1 vote. So we may be able to select which is our first choice, our second choice, our third choice, but my vote is 1 vote. It's not a special super vote because I'm the superintendent. It's the same vote as Miss Olivia, who's sitting out there, who's one of our amazing interpreters. That data is then collected, and that is what is presented to the board. The top 3 calendars per vote, based on votes, are presented to the board. And the board will then review those calendars, and this is why it's important that you all watch board meetings, because they depend on your feedback. People will reach out to them and say, I like calendar A, and another person will say, no, I want calendar C, because I want the week of Thanksgiving off. That was my vote, but I didn't win. I was 1 vote. So they will then take the feedback from the community, and they take in consideration what has been presented, and then they vote on the calendar. And that's how we have our calendar. And the best thing about that we do is, 1, it's an inclusive process where everyone has a voice. And 3, we share that calendar with parents, with the community, in a year in advance so that you can make plans around what's best for you and your family. You want to take a vacation? Well, you know when you can take that vacation, or when is the best time for you to take the vacation. Because remember, as the video showed you, attendance matters. We need our students in the building every single day that we have school. And we need the adults in the building every single day that we have school. So that's why our board is very proactive about putting out that calendar at least in a year in advance so that you can plan for your family, time with your children, but in a way that doesn't take them out of the school building.
This next question is a little complicated, but I think I'm going to be able to surmise it to say this parent would like the details on our attendance line adjustments and how those decisions were made.
You should have showed me those questions before I came.
I know.
Okay.
Especially that one.
We'll talk about that later.
No.
Okay. Attendance lines. So each of our buildings have a student capacity that is given to us by the state of South Carolina based on the number of student stations that are in a building. So we know that we can have, for example, in an elementary school, this elementary school could be zoned for 600 students. We then, in our operations department, go out and look at how many students live in that community. And then based upon how many students currently live there and what information we get from county council around upcoming housing developments that are projected, zoning requirements, so on and so forth, lots of data, we come up with the number of students. And then we know that school is full. So if it's at 90% capacity, it's considered full by the state, which means now we need to look at the students that maybe live at the back end of the community. What school are they going to attend? And that's how we come up with boundaries for our schools. It's based on a very complicated process. Every once in a while, we have to go back in and look at our student enrollment. And we do that every year. And as part of our forecasting that we do, we look at models of what we think our student enrollment will look like next year, 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road, even 10 years down the road. And we work with a demographer who gives us national trends as well as state trends and regional trends for us to help make those decisions. And so when we notice that there are several schools that are either overcrowded or underfilled, then we have a conversation about looking at the attendance lines for those schools. And we just recently did that. Looking at our schools, want to make sure, once again, that we are good stewards of the taxpayers' dollars. We look to see how can we balance our schools out so we are maximizing the resources that are in the building. And that may mean that we have to make adjustments to our attendance line. I want everybody in the audience to understand we do not make these decisions lightly. It's a lot of work that goes into it. It's a very thoughtful process. It literally takes us months. I think we spent a good 7 months or 8 months on this process because it starts and then we work through. And all through this process, we help our schools understand. We send out parent messages, and we work very, very closely with our Board of Trustees so that because we know they are going to get most of the questions. I get a few questions, but parents tend to call and community members call them, and we have to make sure that we're all singing from the same hymnal and we all have the same information. But believe me when I say it literally is a year-long project that we work through, and we don't take it lightly. It is very, very important to us that we help our community understand the purpose behind it, and that we are making sure that we set each student up, and you've heard me say it now, and I sound like a broken record, but it's true. We are looking at each student in each classroom, in each school, every day to make sure we create the best learning environment for that student. That is our purpose. That is what we strive for every single day. And if you ask any of the people that work in this district, does she say that all the time? And they're going to say what?
Yes.
Yes. Because I don't like the word every. It's not about every student. Because you don't think about every student when you think about your child. Who do you think about? Your child. That's why each student. Representative Grant has come in. Let me tell you, he has a student in our school. He doesn't think about, as a representative, he does the whole body, but as a father, he is concerned about his son. And are we meeting the needs of his son? So each student.
And Representative Grant, if you don't mind standing, just so
Hamilton
we can
Grant, I'm sorry, I said
recognize
Representative
you
Hamilton.
this evening. Not just our representative, but also a Richland 2 alum. Thank you,
That's
sir.
right.
We have time for one more question, Dr. Moore, and this one is from the audience. And this is from Dr. Kennedy Robinson, who is a parent at Westwood High School. And she is wondering, do you foresee bringing introduction to Spanish back in the elementary curriculum. It was taken out before my children attended, but hopefully this will help other families.
Well, that is a great question that I have not been asked. So the answer is we would have to explore that and look into it. I will say we do have a awesome immersion program at Polo Road Elementary School. I have gone into those classrooms, and the way it works is students spend half of their time in English class, so all students, whether they are a native speaker or not, and then the other half they're spending in a Spanish immersion classroom. I went into a third grade classroom, and they were speaking Spanish fluently, and I had to ask one of the students, what did you say? And so I learned a very valuable lesson that I need to spend more time on Babbel than I currently am spending, because I did not understand a word those students were saying or the teacher, but they were rocking and rolling in that classroom and the learning was taking place. So we do understand the value of learning languages in the early years of a child, because they learn it so quickly when they're young versus when, like me, taking French in high school, right? I do remember some of it. When I was stationed in Germany, I learned German enough to speak, to eat, to shop, and to get directions. That was the extent of my German, because my brain is older and not like kids. So it's something, our chief academic officer was nodding, and she looked at me and gave me a thumbs up that it's something that we can look at.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one more question. This is a multi-part question that I feel like we're going to have to get back to the office.
Like Jeopardy.
I know, and respond. But I want to at least put it out here because it is from an audience member who's a parent of a Condor student. Mm-hmm. When the district evaluates and selects core curriculum and all instructional materials, including digital platforms, software, and supplementary media, what specific criteria and input channels are used to ensure diverse learning profiles, such as neurodivergent students or those needing executive functioning supports, are proactively integrated from the start?
Wow, that's a
back at the office, right?
20 minutes, but I'll
Yeah.
give you I'll answer part of it right now, and then we'll get you a detailed answer. So first and foremost, curriculum is defined by the state of South Carolina. So they will select material, approve material, and the process is we have a group of teachers. Teachers get to review that curriculum, vote on the curriculums that they feel would be best to meet our students. But in addition to that, our academic department, under our amazing senior chief, Jen Morrison, and our executive director of Shaquina McLaughlin. Stand up, Shaquina, so they can see you. She is over our special education programs. They will also review supplemental material to make sure it is aligned with state requirements that meet state standards, because that's what we are assessed on, that we want to make sure our students are mastering. And then they will give recommendations to me around what we should purchase to make sure that we are providing our students what they need. Now, that's a very high level of the process. There's a whole lot of detailed work that goes into selecting curriculum for our students. But one of the things we do encourage all of our teachers, all of our staff members, is to only use district-approved curriculum. Our supplemental materials that we recommend, because we know through our vetting process that material is ready for our students, is appropriate for our students, and will meet the diverse needs of our students. But if there's something special and unique that a student needs, through our process, we will evaluate that, and if it's needed and it meets the criteria that the state has given us, we'll select it and we will use it for our students. So I hope I gave you some information. We'll get you a more detailed answer at a later date.
I will forward that email before I leave the parking lot. It will be in her inbox, so you'll get your answer.
Copy Jen on that.
And Shaquina.
And
yes.
Shaquina.
CC. Well, folks, as we look to the future, our focus remains clear. We will continue working to ensure that each student in Richland 2 has access to a high quality instruction, innovative programs, strong support systems, and opportunities that prepare them for the future. But we cannot do this work alone. That is why conversations like what we've had today are so important. Your ideas matter, your perspectives matter, and your partnership matters. Thank you again for joining us today. We look forward to hearing more of your thoughts and answering your questions. That QR code is live, and you can input questions, share it with your friends and family, and we will be getting those answers to you.